Guys, what I would like to do to take advantage that Tenny is here, if you guys have any questions for me or Tianyi, okay, go ahead, either put in the chat or raise your hand. Emmanuel, go ahead. You have a question?
Yes. So this is for Tien.
Okay.
So my question is, before you were going to speaking, is that what you do now fully? Like you go out and sell your products? Is that what you do full time, or you still do your?
That's one of my business. My main business is actually creating apps. I run several app companies. Yeah, but yes, I do spend a lot of time training and speaking as well.
Okay. My question is, for someone wanting to move into this internet marketing realm who runs a brick and mortar location, what are some of the, major, learning points that you could share when someone is, trying to get into this new internet marketing space, coming from a brick and mortar space?
Okay, so that means you are currently right now in a brick and mortar business, and you want to use internet to grow your business.
Correct.
Well, that would be. Are you on social media? Do you have a
No.
website?
No.
No.
No. So just to give you a bit of background on what I do, right? So I run a team of 3 trainers within one gym in Epping in Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we get sales is there's people on the gym floor and we just approach, it's like direct sales. So we approach them and then we sit them down for consultations and we just sell our way through the consultation.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's how we generate income. But I'm thinking this is not by any means the end game, because it just takes too much effort to get money, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Like it's just, I'm limited to the 900 people in our gym. And I just feel like the only way forward is to develop like a webinar funnel, which I'm doing right now with Peng Joon.
Mm.
So my question is, you running like your office space, like based business,
Yep.
now moving into more of the internet marketing side and, speaking internationally, what are some of the, things that you have taken away that you could share to someone like myself who is wanting to walk down the same path?
Okay, so most of the things I do, I model after Peng Joon. So I will share, and then I think Peng can add on. So I suggest you can do a ebook, okay, for your target customers. So that will establish yourself as the authority, because a book really opens a lot of doors. It has opened a lot for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, you could use it to get more clients, get more prospects, and create your funnel, right? Learn how to run ads to drive people from Facebook, your target customers, to download your book, to attend your webinar, and you coach them, give them some value, and after that, right, you can offer your product and services from there. So basically, you're not doing something very different, but you're just automating the whole thing.
Sure. And how, in terms of, how much time you personally spent within your brick and mortar location, getting and still learning all this extra stuff that you still needed to learn to scale, can you talk to us about how you structured your day-to-day life or your weekly life?
Okay, so I used to spend a lot of time having to meet clients personally myself. So that, because you go there, you're not even sure whether they will engage my company to build their apps or not. They may already be talking to other companies or whatsoever. So when I do the workshops and seminars, there's a much more efficient way to get people to hire my company to build apps for them. Because now I teach them the system, they trust me, there are success cases, the clients. So naturally, they will just want my team to build for them. They will not go to other people. So yes, if you learn this and you have your own mini training programs or whatever, there's a solid funnel to get people to hire your services instead. Then you try to go door to door and all this. Of course, if you have more salespeople to handle the calling and visiting, if you have to, then that will free up your time as well. For me, whenever there's people, almost every few days, there are people that ask me, hey, I have an app idea, can I do this or not? I always forward them to my developers or my teammates to talk to these people, to give them a consultation. So most of the things I'm focusing on now is managing my team and creating systems and products.
So to add on to what Tian said, we are at this event that we are speaking in. One of the speakers, well, not one of us, like the main speaker rather, is Jay Abraham. Now, Jay Abraham has always, out of all of Jay Abraham's material, there's one thing that sticks for me. Okay, so his thing is like all over the place, but one thing that really sticks for me is he always says, what he's known for is he says that there's 3 ways to grow a business. Okay, you either increase how much a customer is worth, right, on average. Number 2 is you increase the frequency and how often they come back. And number 3 is the obvious one, which is more new customers. Okay, so with regards to your business model, and all of you that's on this call right now, always think about these 3 things. The third one is the one everybody's always thinking about, like, oh, how can I get more new customers? But for a gym business, we all know that to acquire a customer in any market is going to be a lot more expensive than keeping an existing one, especially when it is in something that is recurring in nature, like a gym. Okay. There's an open mic which is distracting me. I need to mute somebody. Okay. Okay, wait, I think I took care of it. Okay, anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this, okay? So for you, Emmanuel, think about how can you, I mean, like 900 people, it's a lot of people, okay? Retention is definitely the first thing I will look at. Like, how do I retain not just these 900 people, but how do I retain the people that is signing up for my free trial and keeping them on my monthly retainer? Is number 1, right? Second one is increasing the average value of an average customer. So another one would be, so on average, how do I ascend them up to the next thing? So that should be, I'm guessing, personal training, so that the value of each customer is worth a lot more. So it all, and then after that, new customers would be like the lead gen, Facebook ads, branding, the book, like what Tian talked about. But basically, it's really these 3 pillars: the system to how you get more clients, get more leads, and that would be Facebook, Instagram, right, social media. Number 2, how do you retain them better, so that when a person signs up for your free trial, if you have one, or your existing members, so that they don't quit, what are the different things you can have in place so that when a person actually signs up, they actually stay. And then, which is always the biggest in any, recurring type of business model. And number 3 would be, how can you ascend them so that the value of each customer is worth more? Okay.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, anyone here have any other questions for Tian Yi? Tian Yi is very limited edition. You will see me all the time, but Tian Yi is not somebody. Okay, Queen, go ahead. Guys, if you prefer, you can also write your question in the chat, and we can answer them, or Tian Yi can answer them, or ask in person. Okay, Queen, go ahead. I've muted you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Peng Joon and Tian Yi. I think it's very insightful what you shared. So, okay, a bit about my context first, and then I'll ask the question. So for me, actually, I'm very early in my journey, and basically, I'm doing this full-time now, but I'm actually also just starting. So I'm not yet an expert, and the vehicle I'm doing is actually cryptocurrency education. Now, the thing is, I'm very new to this space as well, so I'm getting up the curve myself. And my first step is actually to do the webinar funnel, and as part of that, I need to get the testimonials. And I have just done a first one free to 5 or 6 people who I can manage to get, as in I did a live presentation to them free. The course which I'm going to teach, just so that I can get some testimonials. I haven't got it yet actually, But and I think it's quite positive, but let's see. So the idea is that I want to use those in my slide pack, and then from there try to set, right? That's what actually I'm doing, but I'm very early in the game, and so I don't know what else can I do. Is this the right first step for me to focus? I mean, currently I don't have my own YouTube channel, because I thought maybe I should focus on this first, then only do the, you know, those daily videos and all that to build up. So I don't have any subscribers and all that now that follows me and all that. So I guess my question is that the right first step for me? And what else do you think I can do? To both of you, I guess.
Okay, so good that you have started to do your trainings. That's amazing. Most people don't even get started to create their own training. So of course, getting testimonials take time, because you need people to learn the things that you're teaching them, and they must take action, and then they will have results. But at least now you have people coming to your course. You may not have the actual result testimonials yet, but you can get their testimonials about how they feel when they attend your course. Start with that first. And that is also good enough, at least for now, that you can use it to inspire other people to join your course. Because eventually you will have your own results testimonials. And of course, going to social media, YouTube, all this, it does take time. So I suggest that you put a regime, like every day, what time to what time, you do your videos, you do your articles, you do your postings to build up your social media presence as well. And the thing is, just keep on doing, and eventually, once you have enough success, you have people that make money from it, then things will become easier. And it's just about scaling up and speaking to more people.
Quina, for me, the most important thing is that how you started your conversation. The first thing that came out was you said, I'm not an expert, okay? And I remember you said the same thing when we met at the event, okay? And it has been a few months now, and you know my take on this. My take on this is that a person becomes an expert, and the route and the path to become an expert is actually a lot shorter than many people think. And the first thing to work on is that you cannot keep telling yourself that internal conversation that I'm not an expert, because that translates to your messaging, that translates to how you show up. Put it this way, you are into cryptocurrency. Anybody that's into cryptocurrency has not been in cryptocurrency that long. Okay, I have seen people, I'm not going to mention names, but people who are like doing all these different things, jumping around different type of vehicles, and one day they're a cryptocurrency expert. Okay, no names. Okay, so what I'm saying is this, okay, is that whether it's crypto, whether it's online funnels, whether it's Facebook, the truth is, for me, like let's say Facebook, when somebody says they're a Facebook expert, I honestly believe that it takes about 8 hours to be pretty good at Facebook. Like, I honestly believe that if a person went through a full-fledged Facebook course, 8 hours learning, 8 hours implementing, 2 days, a person would be pretty good at Facebook. Like, really, you know? And then, of course, you need to test, let the ads run 1-2 weeks. But the point I'm trying to make is that after a week, a month, a person's like, yeah, good enough to label themselves as a Facebook expert. Same thing with many other topics as well. Now, cryptocurrency, other than the time when it boomed like a year and a half ago, when I bought, I don't have much experience with crypto other than that time when everybody was crazy over it. But what I do know is that the journey to become an expert begins with the internal conversation with yourself. It begins with that. And it is very easy to hide behind the statement of saying, but I'm not an expert yet. The first thing for you to work on before creating YouTube videos before thinking about your webinars is to start telling yourself that and make that decision that you are an expert. That is so crucial, right? To fix that, because if you keep telling, because again, when we met at the live event, you said the same thing, okay? But now it's been a couple of months. And if in the 3 months since we met, if you have read 10 books on cryptocurrency, 99% of the rest of the world have not read 10 books on cryptocurrency, right? That's where I'm coming from. 3 months is ample time to become an expert on something. So let's talk about things to work on, okay? For you, Karina. It would be, number one, I can understand that we all are beginners at one point in time, but we cannot consistently tell ourselves that I'm not an expert in this, because there must be a point in time where we draw the line and say, you know what? I'm deciding to become an expert in this topic. And you begin that path, and you can no longer hide behind, oh, but I'm still learning and trying to figure things out. Okay. And I believe that you're past that already. Okay. But once you're past that, and this goes for all of you, it is to start documenting your journey. And this is something that Gary Vee talks about. There's a lot of things that he says that I don't necessarily agree, but the one thing that I would agree upon is the importance of documenting your journey. Now, some of you, I believe, have seen like my video when I first started out, when I was horrible at it, right? Now, so happened that it was documented at that time. I didn't purposely document it at that time, but today, that's probably one of the most powerful things that I show in my training and in my marketing, because it was documented. One thing that is going to be so powerful for you next time, and for all of you, is the documentation of when you were starting out as a total newbie. That will be one of the most powerful things you will have in the future. So do not take your struggles or your challenges or obstacles that you're going through right now for granted and saying, oh, I don't want anybody to see this. Maybe it's true, you don't want anybody to see it right now, but a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, this will become very, very powerful material. When people see the end result, and it's like, can you imagine if you saw my video? Like I'm honestly trying to find it, and I know it's somewhere, but I am trying to look for the times when I was shooting videos like 8 years ago, and it was really, really bad. There's this one video, okay, and that I'm trying to get my hands on, but it's like, I know it's somewhere in some hard disk, but there was a point in time when I had to do this 3-minute video in San Diego. And this video, which was 3 minutes long, took me, I'm not exaggerating, more than 40 takes for a 3-minute video, more than 40 takes, okay? And I'm trying so hard to look for it so that people can see that approximately 8 years ago when I did that 3-minute video, I want to create the bloopers reel of how Peng Joon was when he started out 8 years ago, because that's what people don't see, okay? And I'm glad that it's somewhere. I just need to look for it. So that's the next thing. Start documenting. So if today you are buying whatever coin, okay? Let's say you're buying this Tian coin, okay? And document that, publish it, right? So today I'm buying Tian coin. And the reasoning for this is because the market cap is doing this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this. That is when you start creating content. Okay, you're not positioning yourself as the expert yet, but you're starting to publish. So this goes for all of you guys, as I'm saying this for Queena. Think about how can you start documenting what you're doing so that you start finding your voice. I think that's very important. When you start creating your content on whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube, you start finding your voice, and most importantly, you see what engages people. And then, since you say you're not an expert, the next thing to do is then start interviewing people you feel are experts, right? A lot of people out there, when you start having your own show, right, which on Facebook, YouTube. It's just like, hey, I would love to get on a call with you to interview you on like 3 things you think a crypto investor should know right now. And you will be surprised how many people will say yes to. I can tell you that in live events that I personally attend, so like one of the things I would do is I would usually attend like at least one live, at least at very minimum one live event a year, a big one. And I can tell you that every single person that has approached me in person to ask me to be on their Facebook Live or their podcast, I have said yes to 100%. Like really, I've said yes to every single person that has approached me in person before. I've never ever said no to anybody. Sometimes it might take a few months to schedule because of my current timetable, but I've said yes to 100% of people that approach me in person, even though we probably say no to 99% of people that email in when I've not met them in person before. So what does this mean for you, Queena? The next thing is all these different cryptocurrency events or summits that I see happen all the time. Go to these events, talk to people, and people you feel are knowledgeable in that topic. Just say, since they're there, it's like, hey, actually, would it be okay if, we get on like a quick video, like 5 minutes? I would love to ask you like 3 things every crypto person, enthusiast, investor should know when it comes to investing in crypto. And I can tell you that when you ask that question in person to somebody in a live event, unless they're a real, I don't want to say it, but most of the time people will say yes. Okay. So that is how you start building your audience and associating yourself to experts, which eventually gives you that positioning as an expert, the same way how Napoleon Hill created Think and Grow Rich. He wasn't rich when he wrote the book. He just interviewed people who were rich, and that big book made him very, very rich. Does that give you some sort of clarity, Queena, on what to do?
Yes. So can I just clarify quickly? So basically, you think I should parallelly basically start posting content daily, right? And yes. And maybe just, I don't know, maybe just Facebook and YouTube first, and maybe just that's it, and continue doing my webinar. I basically still think I should.
Yes.
Okay.
And remember, like what Tianyi said just now, is that when it begins with you, right? And the thing that you got to start really believing is, okay, put it this way. How many live events or books or how many, like, what made you decide cryptocurrency? Let's start with that. Like, what made you decide cryptocurrency? Was it after reading a couple of books? Was it some live events? Why cryptocurrency for you?
Okay. So firstly, it started off by because I want to do an online business, and then I start to think, what is the topic I want to do? And everyone always say, what is your passion? But when I actually look at my passion, I don't think it is something that there's a big market out there. For example, it's like cooking and all that. So I don't think that's really big enough market. So that's when it just, die off. And then I think realistically, what is something that's meaningful? And there's still a big enough market. And that's when I thought this one, cryptocurrency. And the other thing is because I thought as a woman and also someone from Asia, this will be a very unique niche. And one day when I'm successful, this will be a very good story. That's the intention. And also the other thing is, I think even if I don't make money out of this, right? In the end, if I go all out and I still don't make money, I think this is still a meaningful thing for me because I felt I felt I can deliver, the education from the point that it's not just trying to sell people of why you should buy. It's really trying to understand also why is it important. Yeah. So
okay. The only thing I would still disagree with you that there's no money in cooking. I mean, like really, look at all those people that, right? So to me, it's always, there's always 2 ways to always think about stuff. You've heard me say this before. Number one is the market's extremely competitive, and chances are I can't do it. I can't do it like Anthony Bourdain, or I can't do it like Iron Chef, and I can't do it like Jamie Oliver. That's one way to think about it. Or the second way to think about it is, if Jamie Oliver can do it, why not me? It's just two. They're both correct. They're both right. But two different set of beliefs will give you very different outcomes. Okay. Now that's another topic for another day, cooking versus cryptocurrency. Okay. But you've already settled with crypto.
Yeah.
We are going to make it work. Okay. We're going to make it happen. So in other words, start documenting, because now I want you to be serious about your decision. You've made the decision about cryptocurrency. Okay. In our future conversations, it needs to be cryptocurrency. That I want to see that certainty. Like I want you to own it. Cryptocurrency is my market. You are going to do whatever it takes to really make sure you are the best in what it is that you do. You must have that belief instilled in you. How do you do that? By going out there, attending all of the live events, by reading all of the books, keeping yourself up to date. But at the same time, remember, consuming as a student will only get us that far in our business and our life. The next level of growth is when you're able to teach it. Okay, that's your next level of growth. How do you do that? By applying, by documenting, by sharing with other people in your market as well. So yes, creating the content by documentation, Facebook, YouTube. And remember, okay, the only difference between Facebook and YouTube is that YouTube is not a social media platform. To me, YouTube is a search engine. So when you create videos on Facebook and YouTube, okay, remember the different school of thoughts. Facebook is something you create, but the video, if it doesn't take off in 48 hours, it's going to be dead forever. YouTube, on the other hand, when you create something and put it up on YouTube, it will grow over time and will only become bigger and bigger. And that's something I didn't realize until recently. So what does this mean for you? It means that when you post stuff on YouTube up, it needs to be stuff that you think people will be searching for on the search engines, so that if they typed it on Google, your YouTube video will appear. So for example, it would be, let's say, Dogecoin. Okay. Let's say now you create a video that says, where it's titled on YouTube, 5 reasons why you should buy Dogecoin. Okay. The keyword that you're really targeting is somebody typing into Google, should I buy Dogecoin? And because they're typing in, should I buy Dogecoin? Because your video is optimized for YouTube that says 5 reasons why you should buy Dogecoin, that's when your video appears. For Facebook, on the other hand, it is not about SEO. It's not about search engines. Facebook, on the other hand, is more about the hook to get people's attention now as they're scrolling in their Facebook feed. Okay. So for Facebook, on the other hand, it's more of getting their attention now. It could be the same video, but for Facebook, the borders around the video or the title to get their attention would be the one coin you should be taking a look at right now. Okay, for example. So it could be the same video, but how you get their attention needs to match the context of the platform. Okay, so this goes for all of you. I'm just saying all of this because I want you to kind of notice the same content on different platforms has different roles. You just need to understand the role of the platform. Okay, why are people on Facebook and why are they on Instagram? Why are they on YouTube? The reasons are very, very different. Okay, Queena, that would be your homework.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thanks, Queena. Okay, Jason. Okay, I see you waving. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry,
Yes, you're a little bit soft, but go ahead.
Yeah, my question will be, what is your advice for the salesperson transition to be online webinar presentation?
Is this question for me or Tian Yi?
For both of you as a speaker. Both of you also can. Okay, because my question will be, for me, I used to be a salesperson, so my presentation will be one-to-one offline presentation. So I can actually see the customer body language. There's a two-way conversation. Now I'm in the transition to the online webinar, so one-to-many, but there's no body language. There's no two-way conversation face-to-face. So what is your advice for the transition for salesperson one-to-one to online webinar presentation?
If you use Zoom, you are seeing the body language. So you can still see how's their reaction whenever you say something. So if your system is allowed that you use Zoom to talk to your clients, then you will not have this problem where you can't see the thing.
Here's my take, okay? I can tell you that one-on-one, I am probably the worst salesperson ever. I am horrible one-on-one. I can't sell one-on-one, and I will probably talk a person out of a sale. Like really, I'm horrible one-on-one. However, one-to-many, I will crush it. And the reason for, like, I feel that one-to-many is so much easier than one-on-one because all you need to do is to just understand what are the common objections as a whole and cover all those bases for the majority. Okay, that is the differentiator. One-on-one requires to have that person to sit down, understand what their goals are, what their dreams are, what their objections are, what their insecurities are, all those different things, and then you get to close the sale. One-to-many is just thinking about that as a whole. What is it that they want to achieve? What are the objections that's stopping them in terms of the vehicle, internal, external, and making sure that that presentation answers everything. Okay. So if anything at all, closing one-to-many, to me, it's much easier than one-on-one, because one-on-one requires that patience to sit down and talk to the person. And sometimes that person doesn't shut up, right? This person, like, you know, anyway, so it's a different skill set, but one-to-many is all about understanding what it is that they want, their objections, and making sure that the presentation as a whole answers everything, which I think is now a good time for me to mention that so happened that in about, I think, 10 hours from now, there is a very exciting launch that's happening that I am very excited about, okay? Basically, what's happening in about 10 hours from now is Russell Brunson is having a new launch for his 10x secrets, which is basically a training on how he did like $3.2 million in 90 minutes in Grant Cardone stage, where he's pulling back the curtain. I've seen it because he shared it with me like a year ago, but it was not made to public until today, okay? But he talks about how in that 90-minute presentation, it answers like all of the different objections in there. And like, to me, this is probably the most exciting launch for me in this entire year, okay? I would ask you to go check it out because he talks about that as well. How do you create this presentation that answers a common objection, the common thing everybody wants in terms of their dreams, their desires, and how he orchestrated everything to do over $3 million in 90 minutes. Okay, so to support him for the launch, something that I'm also going to be doing, many of you know that in speaking, the person that made a huge difference for me, and also Tianyi, is Joel Bauer. Joel Bauer also was one person that trained Russell Brunson in the early days on speaking and closing. And I am actually doing an event with Joel in February next year, okay? And anybody who invests in the program through my links, this is the blatant pitch, is going to get a ticket to the live event next year as well, okay? We will have it recorded and all that kind of stuff, but do go check it out. The link is at pengjoon.com/10x bonus. I'll just put the link over here if you guys want to go check it out. But basically, some of you may know that Joel has got, first of all, I've spent like a lot of money on Joel. Oh, thanks, Stephen. So pengjoon.com/10x bonus. This is my affiliate link. And for those of you who invest, you'll be able to come for my live event that I'm doing with Joel next year in February. Okay. So I'm super excited to be doing that with him. Joel is somebody that, like, when I trained with him, he charged me $15,000 US 8 years ago. And that amount has made me like silly money. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing that event with him in February in LA. So some of you, it's like a week before Funnel Hacking Live. So yes, it will require you to fly to the US if you want to go for it, or you could watch the recordings after once we record it, which you'll have access to as well. But if you want to go to Funnel Hacking next year, then you can merge these two events because it's pretty much back to back if you choose to US. But if you don't want to go to the US, that's fine as well. You'll be able to get the recordings to it. Okay, pengjoon.com/10x bonus. I would really recommend those of you who are speakers or people who are doing webinars to go check it out, because as much as good as I am when it comes to speaking and closing on stages, I have not done $3.2 million in 90 minutes. And so Russell is the king of platform closing right now. Okay. So that's pretty much it.